I get asked a lot of times, what projects should I get? What should I do? Blah, blah, blah. What's a good idea? So I decided to put together a quick list what I would do if I was starting a retic breeding collection in 2025/26. So we're going to go 5 recessive morphs, 5 codoms, and 5 localities, which you can probably guess 3 of the localities I'm going to recommend because I'm completely unbiased. All right, so let's get into this. So if I was starting a retic collection today and I was getting 5 recessives. These are the recessives I would go with. I'd pick one line of albino, not like 4 lines, one line, whichever line you like. But keep in mind, blondes don't sell and amels don't sell. And the ghost market, it's there, but it's not fully there yet. So you're gonna have to really kind of like start projects and see them through, and So I would recommend mocha, or whatchamacallit, Indo caramel. Okay, recessive 2, anthrax, hands down anthrax. Anthrax is probably it's it definitely in the top 3 of like best all time morphs, like no question. There's still a whole lot that can be done with it. There's been no real selective breeding um, done. I mean, I'm just really starting to try to manipulate anthrax color and pattern. Um, we got the Super Dwarf project, we got the Mindanao project, we Ternate project. So, and I hope somebody else starts the Halma project, so I don't have to do it. I really don't want to have to do 4 different locality projects. So hopefully someone else does that. So it's a significantly it's significant in how much it limits black. I mean, it fucking obliterates the back pattern. But I do think we can bring some of that back with the right localities, and we can completely change the color with Mindanao for sure, and we can completely change the color and make them high silver with Super Dwarf. So just from the locality aspect, anthrax is number 2, and that we don't even need to get into the morphs because of the morph combos with it, because you can do a lot there. And once we start adding more black into it, then we're really talking for stuff like Indo, Sunfire, Anthrax. Once we get a lot more black in, we're talking major contrast. Number 3 is Ocelot, which some people might disagree with because they see Ocelot prices are tanking. Does not matter. Still an awesome morph. What we're seeing in Ocelot now, the reason a lot of ocelots are starting to look worse, the reptile industry generates over 1.5 billion annually. Unnecessarily high shipping rates and processing fees are hurting profits. The Processing and Parcel Solution finds you the best rates on shipping and processing fees. If you're doing high volume shipping and or credit card processing, the Processing and Parcel Solution would like to work with you to find you the savings you deserve. We are looking to work with more reptile related businesses, so reach out to the Processing and Parcel Solution today. Use promo code RNBTPPS for a free consultation. Is because we kind of end up with this common denominator back pattern color spectrum. Everything just kind of looks like a basic Sumatran almost, because everything we have is just kind of gene stacked and nobody's breeding for any different patterns. Well, not at nobody, there's a handful of us. So once the Javan blood started really getting pushed out of Ocelot, we just and kind of got filled up with all the just mediocre back patterns and colors running through our morphs. That's why they're kind of going to shit. What easy to fix, and so definitely Ocelot for 2 or for 3. For hypo probably tends to it does seem to do a lot of striping, but I don't think we really fully understand what that gene really is, if it's actually a hypo, if it's I think it's just like a pigment reducing type gene, to be honest, which that's what hypo is, but it's I don't think we totally fully understand it. And there's a massive amount of stuff you could do with hypo. Hypo ocelot probably look pretty neat. Hypo anthrax would look off the charts. They're not on the list here, but like hypo, I'll get into that later. I'm just going to stick to this list because I'm trying not to get off track. Uh, but no, hypo, tons of potential there. And number 5, um, it's I have pied, but there's also the option of genetic stripe. Pied is a good seller if you make high whites, and genetic stripe, this would be an option in either or. And genetic stripe is an really underrated morph. Not a huge market for it, but you can make a lot of cool stuff with it. So definitely consider either pied or genetic stripe. So for your 5 codoms, number 1 is tribal. And the reason I'm going with tribal is because you get all the polygenic stuff, all the polygenic traits from the Philippine, plus you get something essentially is just a better motley. So you could get a motley, or you could get a polygenic powerhouse gene stack version of a motley with way better colors, way better back pattern structure, way better everything. So tribal, there's a ton of potential there for that. And you also get the super form. And if you go with pied, that also allows you to make, super tribal high white pieds. A hypo tribal is probably going to look pretty nice. We still need to make albinos of some sort. So, I mean, so tribal's like wide open, plus it's a polygenic powerhouse. Tiger, because tiger basically can, tigers just, they just will always sell. They'll always be great sellers. And, tiger anthrax is awesome. Indo tiger, purple tiger, ocelot tiger, hypos, and the tiger helps add white to the pieds. So, I mean, it's just a no-brainer because it works with literally everything in your recessive line. Okay, marble. Marble is fantastic. It's an exaggerating gene where it just takes what would have been and makes it crazier. You saw the marble ocelot, one of the best looking animals ever produced. I have personally proven that you can push marble beyond what you could think, and you can control it as long as you understand what polygenic traits, as long as you understand what back patterns you're working with, you can really control marble. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with marble. So that was what, 3? So we're on 4. 4, I'm going to go Sunfire. Sunfire because it's a basic morph, enhances color. Only real drawback is it cleans stuff up a little bit too much in some cases and does reduce black, but still makes super pretty stuff. Anthrax, Sunfire Anthrax, albino Sunfire Anthrax. Doesn't really work with ocelot, unfortunately. Not sure what it's doing with hypo. Doesn't do a lot with pied, but it's going to work with a lot of your other codoms. So there's some definite room there. Plus you got your super form. It's if you need snakes that sell, purple, Indo, suns, whatever, you can make that stuff that sells. Number 5 is actually Bacan. And I was going to say platinum, but I decided to go with Bacan, because 1, it's a wide open morph. It's not that expensive. And it has very similar properties to a platinum. So and we don't know, it doesn't seem to operate quite like a platinum. It seems to operate actually quite differently, but similar look. So we got to see what it does, but it's wide open like tribal, hardly been used in anything. Yeah, it's wide open like hypo as well. So, and then bonus option for a bonus codom is obviously Aztec. Once the price starts to stabilize, and that's it looks like it's going to stabilize pretty hard, and by that I mean the price is going to drop. 5 localities. All right, your 5 localities. This is going to sound biased, but it's honestly not. Number 1, any Superdorf. I don't care what Superdorf it is. You need one of the Superdorf localities. Number 2 is ternate. Nothing has come close to having anywhere near the potential for polygenic abilities as ternate. Nothing. I mean, it's not even a question of what is the best locality for manipulating morphs. It's ternate, hands down. This, I mean, you just, it's not even a question. You cannot deny it. Like, nothing is, if you want to make stuff look better, ternate is at the top of that list. So yeah, you got to go with ternate. Number 3 is Halma, and I'm going to go with Halmahera because it's another one of those wide open localities that hardly anybody's done anything with, and we can make stuff really dark. You know, hypo Halmahara, anthrax, Halma ocelot, Halma hypo, Halma pied. You're all talking. You're talking about significant color manipulation there. So yeah, number 4 is Mindanao. I know these are kind of like me saying basically buy snakes for me, but I mean, it just is what it is. Mindanao's right behind ternate on its ability to change color and change pattern. You know, I mean, those sun tigers, those Mindanao sun tigers, I mean, they're the brightest sun tigers we've ever seen. You know, they're just off the charts. They make awesome marbles. They make awesome tigers. They make, you know, I mean, just everything that I put them to so far, they've made just fantastic examples of that morph. So yeah, Mindanao for sure. And then the 5th one is, this is if you want, but I recommend one of the larger localities if you can get them. And this would be more for pure, for the people that, there are people that do like big stuff. So, and if you're into localities, either a Bali, Sola, Malaysian, you know, there's not a whole lot of options out there, but if you got the room and you're into it, get one of those larger localities for doing pures. If you're not into that, then you can get your 5th one, can be something small. You got your options there. With, I would go Solaire over Tambalongan, and over Jamp for sure. But yeah, that's your call on that one. But yeah, that's what I would do if I was starting. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, let me know.